What's going on, everybody? This is your boy AMIR, aka the Magic Man, and this is Paperbacks and Soundtracks Unplugged. So, first off, thanks for joining me, all right? If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure you click that subscribe button so you don't miss any action. And also, I'll put a link in the description to the podcast that I do, Paperbacks and Soundtracks. I'll put a link in there. You can find it everywhere where podcasts are available. And if it ain't there yet, I will be uploading it there. So definitely come check that out. I'm about 18 or 19 episodes in. Should be fun. Let's get to this Spider-Man Far From Home trailer, all right? Because there was a lot going on in that trailer. But I'm going to focus in on one part. Now, if you guys checked out my video that I posted before I saw Endgame, okay? By the way, this is spoilers, so if you haven't seen any of these movies, you haven't seen Endgame, or if you haven't seen the trailer for Spider-Man Far From Home, you're beat. Sorry. Time is up. Time is up. We're trying to talk about it. So, I mentioned before I saw the movie that I felt like alternate universes were coming because they have so many heroes and stories that they haven't done yet in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that there's no way that they cannot do it in some type of alternate universe form. We got it. We finally got it. We saw it in Endgame. They created a bunch of different timelines, and now Marvel is going to completely take advantage of that. And I am super excited. I cannot wait to see this movie. I wasn't a big fan of Spider-Man Homecoming, only because me personally, I'm a Miles Morales fan. So I feel like some things were taken from Miles's world and his universe, and I didn't really like that. But I feel like they're going to make up for it in this movie because of the alternate universe. And so there's a part in the trailer where Mysterio basically says to Peter Parker, "I wish I had you on my Earth." And that just pretty much opens the conversation about alternate universes and all that stuff like that. Some people are trying to say that it's BS, that there's not going to be an alternate universe and Mysterio is playing games with Spider-Man, which is very possible. Mysterio is one of those guys that he wants to manipulate the situation. Like, he was a special effects guy. He's a stunt man. He likes to put on the show. He's from Hollywood and all that stuff. But he was failed at acting. So he still wants to be in the spotlight somehow. And possibly this could be his way of doing it, right? But I don't think that the alternate universe is BS. I think that that's really going to happen. But I do agree with people when they say that he's playing games. And I think the way he's going to manipulate Peter Parker into believing that he is more than what he actually is by playing off of that whole Tony Stark dying situation. Because, you know, Peter Parker looked up to Tony Stark, so as you can see in the trailer. So I think that's going to be his way to kind of be like, yeah, you can look up to me. I'm smart. I got technology. You know, I can do all these cool things with my powers and stuff like that. So yeah, it's going to be a dope movie, I think. I think it's going to be a really dope movie. And it's going to be interesting to see what Marvel does with the alternate universe and continuing with bringing the new characters in. Like, will somebody come in and help Peter Parker towards the end to stop Mysterio? Like, who knows, man? Like, they have so many ways that they can go, and I can't wait to see how they put this together. Just amazing, man. So that's the next movie that's going to be coming out. I don't remember the date. I'll remember it at some point. I got a lot going on with different stories here that I want to talk about with you guys. But yeah, the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer, if you haven't seen it, just type it in on YouTube and check it out, man. Dope. So I went to the comic book store today yesterday. Today's Thursday when you'll be seeing this. Comic shop news. Boom. I don't know if you guys can get a good look at that, but we got Batman, The Curse of the White Knight. So if you haven't read Batman White Knight, you should definitely read it. I was late to the party on that. I had to get the graphic novel. I'm still searching for first prints of that story. It was an 8-issue miniseries. Really dope story by Sean Murphy. He did the artwork. He did the writing. Killed it. And basically what's going on in this story, as you can see, we got Azrael coming. You know what I'm saying? So basically the Joker's recruiting him to put a stop to Batman again, and should be dope. I'm excited. I know Sean Murphy I read an article a few months ago after I read Batman White Knight. Sean Murphy was saying like he wanted to do a part 2 and that he would most likely bring Azrael into the storyline. So, man, I can't wait to see it. Like, as you can see it, I'm going to show you guys one more time, man. Azrael looks like a bad A, man. You know what I'm saying? So, I can't wait to see how that works out. But, so I got this book, or this comic shop news from one of my favorite comic book stores here in Newark, New Jersey, Fortress of Solitude. And if you saw my video from Free Comic Book Day, they had a lot of cool people there. And they got a lot of books, man. And the cool thing about Free Comic Book Day is, you know, a lot of the stores do discounts on back issues, you know, so they might do 20% off or 30% off to, you know, get you guys encouraged to come out and support the stores and, you know, come get some books and some good reading material. So I found Incredible Hulk 377, the first appearance of Professor Hulk. So if you saw Endgame, this story right here is where that character first appeared, with Incredible Hulk and Bruce Banner, you know, working together and becoming a smart big green Hulk that got beat up by Thanos and never went back to fight him again. Anyway, some of the other stores that I went to Eastside Mags in Montclair, New Jersey. Really cool store. Both stores are great. I love both stores. I go to them weekly to get my books. You know what I'm saying? I got pull lists at both places. So when I was there, they had, you know, discounts on their back issues also. So I'm flipping through the boxes and seeing what I can find. If I can find some gold and stuff like that in there. And I came across a story, bundle, all the issues from, it's called Hip Hop Family Tree, written by Ed Piskor. And yeah, as you can see, we're gonna get some history lessons in here with the hip hop thing. Look at that. Look at MC Hammer on the back with them hammer pants. I know everybody wore these bad boys right here back in the day. I had a pair for sure. I even had an MC Hammer like action figure. We don't say doll. We don't say doll. Action figure. But yeah, man, Ed Piskor, he wrote the story. He did the art in the story. I think he did even the lettering in the story. Like, he usually does everything when he writes a story. And, you know, he gives you a full history. Like look at this. Look at this. And it's really cool because it's like a throwback feeling to it. You know what I'm saying? With the artwork and the lettering and everything. So you get a full history when you read an Ed Piskor story. Like X-Men by Grand Design. He wrote that, did the art for that. And that's pretty much just a compilation of everything that's ever happened in X-Men history. He usually puts out like 2 issues each time he puts it out. And that's a lot of information. So I've been reading those. I'm getting my X-Men history up with that. And with that story by Ed Piskor. So I'm definitely looking forward to diving into the Hip Hop Family Tree and getting some history on the hip hop. He's a hip hop head for sure. And another story that I picked up in the mail. This wasn't on Free Comic Book Day, but I did pick it up in the mail. I'm trying to build my back issue collection with heroes that I like, that I've come across in, you know, recent times, and I wanted to go back and pick up their stuff from back in the day. And I picked up Black Lightning. I got all 11 issues or 12 issues of this run. I'm definitely looking forward to reading this because it was a lot of crazy history with Black Lightning and everything back in the day. Like, just go look it up. It was a whole thing where the hero that they had in the story was a white dude that when he got mad, he turned into a black dude. It was crazy. But Tony Isabella, he came up with the idea to write Black Lightning and save that comic book from going under. So I'm definitely looking forward to checking that out. So, you know, that's the stuff that I picked up recently in my comic book hunts and everything. So I remember I told you guys a few weeks ago that I was going to focus more on independent comics and bringing you guys some information on some dope indie comics that I read, like from Image to IDW, Boom's Comics, Black Mass Comics, all kinds of independent stuff. And the reason why I do that is because I feel like Marvel and DC, they get enough attention from everybody. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if I go over, I don't know, Black Lightning, right? If I review that, it's going to be 20 other people that you can get the information from also. So what can I do to bring you guys something different? So what I decided to do was focus on different independent comics. And the one that I'm focusing on today is American Jesus, written by Mark Millar, and the art is by Peter Gross. Man, this story, shout out to my guy Fuji over at Fortress of Solitude. He put me on. He kept telling me this was a great story. He ordered it for me. I read it. It's amazing. I read it in like 2 days, finished it. Great story. And I'm slowly becoming, well, let me not say slowly. I have quickly become a big fan of Mark Millar. I've read Wanted recently, probably like a few months ago. Incredible story. If you saw the movie, this is what the movie was based off of, and it did absolutely no justice. The comic was way better. If you saw the movie Civil War, he worked for Marvel for a little while. He wrote Civil War, you know, the movie Captain America Civil War, that was based off of his storyline. Kick-Ass is another movie that he did for Image Comics. He wrote the first volume of Old Man Logan, which that movie is based off. So he does a lot of great writing, you know what I'm saying? He's kind of like the man in these streets, and he's got the whole Netflix deal where they're going to be taking his comics and turning them into either TV series or movies. I'm not really sure which lane they're going to go to, but I've been reading a lot of the stuff that's going to happen. That's going to be picked up in Netflix. Like Magic Order is one of them. It's a really good miniseries. It's like 6 issues long. Prodigy, which I've been reviewing on my podcast. Really good story. And yeah, hopefully they're going to do American Jesus, because this story is something else, man. Like, pretty much the story is like, what if Jesus came back, right? And he was in a 12-year-old kid. Would you still believe? You know what I'm saying? Would you still put all your faith in this 12-year-old kid with these immaculate abilities and these powers to turn water into wine, or cure the blind, or bring somebody back from really bad sickness, like a coma or something? You know, like, would you believe in a 12-year-old Jesus? And it was an incredible story, man. This kid that the story is based on, the star of the book, his name is Jody Christensen, and he gets hit by a truck, a Mack truck, like lands right on him while he's in the woods, like chilling with his homies. Like, look at this. Boom, just lands straight on him. And, you know, to me, he's dead. Like, there's no way that he's coming back from this, right? And he winds up waking up in the hospital, no scratches, no bruises, and the story takes off from there, man. Like, he finds out that he has these new abilities when he wakes up. He's smarter. He's able to, like I said, he starts figuring out that his mom kind of dropped some hints that he could possibly be the second coming of Jesus. And that just makes him super excited, because he's like, man, I can do so much with these abilities and everything. And he's got the town going crazy. And it's just insane to see, like, the following that builds up through all of these miracles that he's actually doing in the story. It's crazy. But there was one person in the whole story that was just a little bit skeptical of young Jody, and his name is Father O'Higgins. Yes, it's a priest who doesn't really dig what's going on here with young Jody, because the priest has basically lost his faith in everything. Like, he doesn't really believe in God, but he goes to church every Sunday and preaches, you know, like, it's crazy. But, you know, his mother had died, his brother had got murdered, and he just lost all complete faith in the Lord, until there's a part in the story that he has no choice but to believe in young Jody, because the one thing that he has left is his dog. And something happens to the dog And Jody brings the dog back. You know, it's crazy. Like, he performs this incredible miracle. And at that point, you're like, yo, this dude is the one. Even Father O'Higgins is like, yo, you the chosen one, son. You the one. You are the one. But then after that part of the story ends, something crazy happens. And you guys need to read this story to find out. I'm not going to give you too much of the story because it was amazing. It's $9.99, man. Definitely check this out. But I'll say this part. His mother told him to read Revelations chapter 13 and chapter 14. And she said that will tell you who you are and where you come from. Little Jody reads these 2 chapters and he kind of takes them the wrong way. So if you know anything about Revelations, you definitely want to go check this out because this story was deep, man. When I read the last page, I'm just going to say this. When I read the last page, I like walked around my apartment with like the most incredible energy. I couldn't believe how this story ended. And it came out in 2005, but they did a reprint and turned it into like a little trade, comic book, a little trade paperback for $9.99 and retitled it American Jesus. And I think they reprinted it in 2009 and it never came out again. So the way the story ends, there should be a part 2. So who knows, man? Mark Millar, like I said, he's got this whole Netflix happening. You know what I'm saying? So maybe, who knows? Maybe they might turn this into a TV series and finish the story through that way. Maybe this season, the first season might be American Jesus, the chosen one, and then maybe season 2 might pick up where this story left off. And man, I am so hyped about what's coming in this Millarverse because all of his stuff that he writes is just made for TV or movie theaters. Like he's really a great writer. So definitely, if you get a chance, go check out American Jesus, the chosen one, Image Comics, Mark Millar, Peter Gross, really dope story, man. I picked up a lot of dope stories today that I'm going to be talking about next week, by the way. Excellence from Image Comics. I'll be talking about that next week for sure. And I'm going to be diving into this story here. We got Self-Made. I'm going to talk about this, man, because this is a short little mini series, about 6 issues, and it was amazing. It was freaking amazing. So we'll dive into that next week, man. So once again, this is your boy AMIR, aka the Magic Man. This is Paperbacks and Soundtracks Unplugged. Thank you for checking me out. Remember to hit that subscribe button and check me out next week on Paperbacks and Soundtracks, the podcast. I'll be bringing you guys more dope comics, and we'll be diving into some music that maybe you guys wouldn't expect your boy to be talking about. So keep it locked, and I'll see y'all next week. Peace.